You wake up, you reach for your phone, scroll, not. The feed knows what you'll pause on. The apps know when you'll return. And your routine knows what you'll probably say, eat, avoid. You're not a machine, but lately you're starting to feel like one. Predictable, optimized, repeatable. So are you still choosing your life, or are you just running your code? Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, Mindful Media and Communication, and to you on autopilot. And most of us like to believe that we're driven by values, reasons, goals. But a lot of the time, we're driven by habituation. The behavioral psychology calls this automaticity, when your actions are no longer conscious decisions, but preloaded responses to triggers, patterns, environment. Examples: opening Instagram without thinking. Got you? Got you. Repeating the same opinions because they sound like you. Saying yes to things because that's your brand. Avoiding discomfort because that's your pattern. The algorithm isn't just in your feed, it's in your head. It's in your head. You finish that sentence. So now, here's what theory tells us about being reprogrammable. So looking into communication and also a little bit of behavioral theory in this regard. The first one, the one that you should be already screaming from the rooftops because we talked about it a lot, use and gratification theory. So this theory has been on the podcast many a time, so you should know that. The theory says we actively choose media based on psychological needs like escape, validation, stimulation, or control. But what happens when the system learns your needs before you do? Netflix shows you what comforts you. TikTok feeds you your insecurities, your aspirations, right? Spotify knows when you're tired. So your choices become habitual, optimized, automated, until the illusion of choice becomes its own trap. I have so many choices. Do you? Do you really choose from those many choices? Or are you just trapped in the illusion of choice, but actually you're always choosing the same things over and over again? Second theory that relates to that. Self-perception theory. You should also know that one. We talked about this before as well. This theory, as you know, says we form our identities, who we think we are, by observing our own behavior. We say, I keep doing this, so I must be this kind of person. Right? If I repeatedly do things, that's who I am. But what if this repeated behavior is just a product of design? What if the identity you're reinforcing isn't chosen by you, but conditioned by the algorithm? That's when habit becomes personality, and optimization becomes stagnation. If we're stagnating, doing the same things over and over and over again, why? Because we're conditioned to do it. do you really choose to do this over and over again? Or are you doing it because your algorithm rewards you and forces you to do it, reinforces it? Feels like a red pill, blue pill moment, right? Green pill, red pill, you know all those pills. Don't take pills. So the thing now, and now it's time for our heads again, okay? The system reinforces predictability. Tinfoil hats on, okay? Why? Because algorithms, they love certainty. If something is certain, it's way easier to predict, way easier to code. The algorithms don't want surprises. Algorithms don't know how to handle surprises. So the algorithms, the media, don't want you to surprise them. They want you to repeat, confirm, engage, loop, do the same things over and over again, because more engagement, more clicks, more money. And if you do something repeatedly, it's easier to predict. Still keeping the tinfoil hat on. You know how this shows up? In echo chambers. You know the term. You only fed perspectives that match your past clicks, right? Your past interactions. So you're always in your echo chamber. The chamber echoes what you are interested in, what you're engaging with. Genre loyalty. Now your taste narrows over time. Be honest. Your taste in movies, music, series, and so on, if you think back, it probably has become more narrow because it's just getting fed more of the same things. It's so hard to get like different types of music, different types of genres, because it's difficult for the algorithm to understand that you want different stuff. So it just gives you what you listen to the most. Emotional targeting. As a former marketing, still sometimes marketing person, I love to hate it and the other way around, because you feed shifts based on mood patterns, not thought. So if you're feeling a certain way, then your feed will also shift based on what you're interacting with, what you're spending more time. You don't even have to like it. You just spend more time on it and you get more good stuff. Yeah, so your digital behavior gets much smoother, more efficient, more predictable. And slowly, so do you. Yeah, so the algorithm doesn't force you to be someone. It just rewards you for staying who you already were, so to speak. And now if you're saying that's not that bad, well, let me add one more layer to it. Because eventually self-knowledge, knowing who you are, might become self-containment. Because, we we love the idea of knowing ourselves, right? I know who I am. I know what I like. I know what I am like. But sometimes that self-knowledge becomes a prison. How? Well, you say, I'm not the kind of person who does X, Y, Z. That's just not me. Rhymes. I know what I like. But what does it actually mean? Does it mean that you stopped experimenting? You stopped surprising yourself? You stopped challenging your default setting because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again? Is it really a good thing? Yeah, you might not even be stuck, but you might just be too optimized. You're just doing the same thing over and over again because it feels okay. So you just keep doing the same stuff. You're not trying anything new. No new thoughts, no new experiences, no new ideas. Why? It works so far. It works so well so far. So I just keep doing it, keep optimizing it. So now the question, of course, is again, how to break that pattern without burning it all down, right? And I mean, this is not about deleting everything or reinventing your identity. It's more about asking better questions. Ask yourself, like, what am I doing out of default versus what am I doing out of desire? Do I really want to do this? Or do I just do it because I've been doing it? What am I avoiding because it doesn't match me? For the longest time, from my point of view, I haven't been doing Muay Thai, kickboxing, Thai kickboxing, because I always thought I'm a nice guy. I'm not a martial artist, right? I'm not a fighter, because it doesn't match my persona. Until I said, F it, I want to do it. So what the things are you avoiding because they don't match your style, they don't match who you think you are? Ask yourself, when was the last time I surprised myself intentionally? I did something that I didn't think I would do, and I really did it. Because I wanted to do it. I wanted to do something new. What belief or what habit do I keep repeating just because I've always repeated it? Does it really help me? Is it really what I believe in? Is it really true? Or do I just repeat it because that's who I'm supposed to be? And just to be clear, right, the goal here isn't chaos. It's disruption with intent, intentional disruption, okay? You make a choice that the algorithm wouldn't predict. Say yes to something you'd normally say no to. And it doesn't mean say yes to drugs or anything like that, right? Pick something else. But step outside that behavioral loop, even just slightly, just a little bit, just one step. And take a train somewhere instead of a car, for example. Because that's how you reclaim your freedom. Not by deleting all your patterns, but by reprogramming your awareness. To wrap things up, the algorithm is only as powerful as your silence. What does it mean? You're not a machine. But the more your days blur into each other, the more optimized you become. And the less friction there is, the more likely you're being shaped, not choosing to do things. So here's a reminder, okay? You do not owe the system predictability. You don't owe your past self consistency. You don't owe the algorithm an explanation of why you're doing something different, right? All you owe is your attention, your awareness, and your ability to pause and ask, is this me? Or is this just what I've done before? Because, even one unpredictable choice is a signal. And even one pause in the loop is power. Reclaim that, okay? And once you reclaim that, we will back here, see and talk to each other again in the next episode. Until then, stay safe, take care, reclaim at least just a little bit. And we